Kia ora, Pisces. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. This is your reading for this new moon in Taurus, which is happening currently. And let's get the cards out. If you have joined me before, thanks for coming back. And if you haven't, thank you. And we do go through and we clarify with a few other decks. And so let's get this story on the board, storyboard. General themes for you potentially at this current time. These are general readings. Very general, so take what resonates and just leave what doesn't, Pisces. And now we see we're bookended in this at this current time by those rhythms and cycles. Excuse me, we've got the sun and we've got the moon at the end. And in between, we've got a couple of other things. Let's talk about it and then we'll go through and we'll clarify. So we've got the glorious sun, all the power of that solar force in your life, whether you're targeted on that or not. It's there. It's vitality. It's all of those things. You know, we don't always, certainly in the beginning of winter, we don't always feel that because everything becomes so dark and all of that. And of course, we've got the moon here. You know, this new moon is a dark time of the moon. The moon isn't illuminating things too much for us, but we know we've got this beautiful sun. It's a glorious, vital card of new growth. Whether you might see that in yourself or not, whether you relate it to yourself on a personal level, growth, whether you see that or not, you've got it here. We then have the Prince of Swords. Now, the Prince of Swords is one of my favourite cards. You know, there are many thought forms that we create, which are just as real as anything is, I guess. And this prince is carried along by what are described in the Thoth deck as little fairies. We're going here, we're going there, we're going everywhere. There's no specific focus. But what I love about this is that at this time of the new moon in Taurus, in this card, which has been coming up quite a lot, we see what seem to be coins or suns, you know, that solar force. Because there's a lot of potential growth in this card. There's a purpose to not being specifically focused in one direction. We don't sit in that too long because it becomes unhealthy, but there's a purpose to that at certain times in our lives. You've got access to that solar power. But there's a requirement, it seems, whether that's the right word, or a period of time where you are just going in a lot of different directions here, Pisces. We've then got the Seven of Wands, which is about standing up for yourself, for your principles. It's all great stuff. But at the same time, it can be a habit. It can be unnecessary, and it can be the thing that dampens your generosity. It's just what I'm hearing here. And we see that seventh wand. It sort of stymies the other six. It's in there as a kind of a boundary or a line or a seal of sorts. And of course, all the sevens are sort of about assessment. So whether we're figuring out, you know, where we stand on something, where we're at, you know, we often have those times, don't we? Or we feel that we need to stand up for what is our own integrity and question and actually understand what our integrity is in our lives. Interesting. And then we've got the moon. So there are times where we are seeking and we don't necessarily see, but there are other times and seeking, but there are other times, that 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 things are very clear. And where would we be without that beautiful sun? So anyway, I'm just taking too long on this, aren't I? The sun, Pisces, at this time of the new moon. The sun, so we've got a bit of a cluster, a bit of a collection. What is this sun? Well, again, we get the moon. So we're looking at the light and the dark. We're looking at the solar force and the lunar force, and what is that for you, Pisces? What is it? It's quite important, isn't it? Because we're talking fishes, we're talking water. We have the moon. We understand. We understand. We understand the, polarities, the nature, that sometimes there's a strong melancholic element within this. I mean, maybe it's that Saturn and Pisces thing, but I do feel that. But with that moon, so we're clarifying the sun, we know what happiness is. We know what to be illuminated feels like. We know what happiness feels like. Are we looking for an offering? Are we wanting that? Because we've got the Knight of Cups, which is an emotional offering. It could be someone in your life. It could be someone in your life that at this time that is providing you with a level of being on the sunnier side of the street. You know what I mean? Let's look at the Prince of Swords. I mean, the Prince of Swords could be someone in your life as well. But anyway, may well be for some Pisceans out there. We have Two of Cups, a choice. That Prince of Swords at some point will make a choice. This is a commitment. It's a choice card. It's a 2. It's also incredibly balanced. Maybe there's a Pisces. Yeah, this is starting to get quite complicated. 2 of Swords, an intuitive decision. A decision based on not what you see, but what you feel, your intuition. So this is just a state, temporary zone here, because there is a decision to be made. Possibly there's a rebalancing for you, Pisces. Let's just keep moving. 7 of Wands. Pisces, please. 7 of Wands. As I said before, that 6th wand is dampening. What's the 6 of Wands? Think about it. Well, the 6 of Wands is a wonderful victory card. It's to be seen, to be success. It's winning. It's to be seen as well, to be of service. So as I was saying with the 7 of Wands, that central wand can just sort of dampen that. We get in a habit of defending ourselves all the time, or thinking that we have to stand up for our principles, boundary, drawing all the time, when possibly we don't. Or maybe we do, who knows? I say that because we've got the 5 of Discs, a card of lack. Making a choice to be left out in the cold. Is there a level of enjoyment anxiety, Pisces? Do you know what I mean? Enjoyment anxiety. I don't want to throw myself into something or enjoy something too much because it's not going to work, that kind of thing. So this 5 of Discs is choosing lack over gain, and it's a habit, and there's a lesson within that. 5 of discs, and we all have been in the 5 of discs because we all have a victim sort of archetype. I mean, every human does. And sometimes we pull it out. Sometimes we use it. Sometimes we just can't seem to get out of it. It's a habit, and it's a mental habit often. And I say that because the thing, Pisces, is that we've got the Queen of Pentacles at the same time. There's either someone who's very generous, with coin here toward you, or it is the interesting nature that you, in fact, are independent and well able to financially look after yourself. At the same time, you've still got some level of never having enough, or that it's not enough, or that something here, and you defend that because it's part of you. Do you know what I mean? Because we get into that zone sometimes. And it's just saying here that there are so many, you've got so much choice and so many options, whether you see that at this current time or not. Generosity is the key. So we go from that 7 of Wands here on the table with the central wand stymieing, the six of Wands, that victorious position. Then we've got the 6 of discs. So generosity. There's something very there's generosity here. Ability to accept. The actual ability to receive, I think, is the key. Now look at the moon, Pisces. Oh, I've not. Look at the moon. Messages coming through, because we've got the moon twice, so there's something that you're not seeing currently. But all you need to do is go into your intuitive zone, of which is very strong, Pisces. We've got messages coming through. Something's illuminated. Maybe you get a new vitality by the time in the next couple of weeks. A new injection of vitality. And then there we go. We've got the 7 again on the bottom of the deck. Speaking earlier also about motivations and integrity. Was it in here somewhere? With that 7. And we know also that with the 7, we want to, if we're standing up for something here, we want to know that we're on solid ground. That's about personal integrity. So let's just, Pisces, it's all about, let's get an animal spirit for Pisces. There's a guide, just as a guide. God, this is coming up all the time. 2 cards coming up a lot and through these readings, and everything's shuffled so well before each one. We've got the cosmic egg, protecting what is of value to you. You slowly uncurl and expose new bits of that value, new parts of yourself to the world in this cosmic egg. It's not necessarily ready yet. There is a timing in that. Did I say with the moon? There are, clarity messages. The clouds disperse. One can see quite clearly with that 8 of Wands as opposed to the 7 of Wands. So that's a good development. I forgot about Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairy Oracle. So we'll get a couple of cards here. Singer of Initiation. Yeah, this solar, this lunar, it's like you're the goddess standing in between the two, working with them, Pisces, Singer of Initiation. On that note, central point of the temple is you. On that note, ka kite. Enjoy this new moon in Taurus. And thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Okay, Pisces, cheery.